Listen live on your smartphone, in your car, at work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am Kareem Bowen, and I'm so glad to be with you here on the 1st of December. It is the beginning of a new month, the last month of this amazing year, 2024. That's right, I said it. And I'm so glad to be with you all on today. I hope you have had an amazing Thanksgiving, filling your bellies with all of the delectable treats and the meal that you've been waiting for an entire year. I always tell people Thanksgiving only comes once a year. So please, this is not the time for you to get creative. This is not the time for you to try something new. Let's stick to the staples. Let's get it done right. Let's put your best foot forward. I had the privilege this year of making I'm making some of the key meals. Mom didn't feel completely up to it, so I did the turkey this year. I made some sweet potato pies. I made the macaroni and cheese. I also did a real nice honey ham. So it was a great holiday. We see in the studio stream live Miss Rosa Williams. Mama Rosa, how are you doing? I hope all is well. We certainly are glad that you are doing well. And I know that you had a great Thanksgiving day as well. For those of you who are out there, we want to give you that number. That number here is 989. And what's the number? I always forget. It's
989-921-7107.
7107. I'm pointing at him, but he's looking a different direction, so he didn't see me. Also, Almabal Collier. Let's get into this conversation. Today, we're going to talk about working together. The need for us to work together as a community. And we saw that with this election. I've been gone for a little bit. Some of it was just kind of like needing for a break. The rest of it was just some things that were out of my control, but we're back this week. Let's like, tag, and share this conversation. If you're listening to us on your FM dial at WTLZ Kiss 107 FM, we certainly thank you. I know a number of you are always, when you run into me, you're saying, hey, I like to be in the car, or I like to listen to it on the radio. I tune in. I like the sound of it on the radio. So I want to thank you guys for continually tuning in. We're going to talk about why we need to work together. And this is a very important conversation to all of those who are watching us via our social media platform, whether it's X, which I no longer use personally, but Facebook, YouTube, all of the Instagram, wherever it is that you're catching us, we certainly thank you for your continued listenership and tuning in. I want to give a shout out. So we're doing something, and I've been talking about this for a while. So I want to make sure that I let you guys know. In 2025, we are launching a new initiative here at Straight Talk. And what that means is that we, I always give the Clown Crown Award, and that is to the individual who is really just kind of just looking crazy out there in the community. But one thing that we will be doing also, in addition to, is we'll be giving the Shining Star Award for that individual in the community that is really doing something great, that is really making their mark, that is really making an impact in the community. So we want to celebrate those individuals. So moving into this new year, 2025, we'll be celebrating you. And what that means, this is what that means. When we acknowledge you here on the radio at KISS 107.1 FM on Straight Talk, what we'll do is you will not only be acknowledged, we'll share some great things about you. Hopefully we'll be able to reach out, get some information about everything that you're doing, but we're also going to give you the Rising Star Award. And what that simply means is that you will get a t-shirt and a mug and a gift certificate to celebrate you and what you're doing. That is what we're going to be doing. We want to make sure that everyone that is out there that is putting in work, that is making a difference in our community, is being celebrated. And oftentimes we see the same people being celebrated over and over and over again, just on different platforms, but it's the same individuals. So we want to make sure that we are celebrating the individuals out there who are doing things from the least thing that may seem insignificant, but makes things work, to the individual out there who's doing, the big things. We want to make sure that that we care here at Straight Talk, and it's absolutely amazing. This is the end of 2024. This is 2018. March 2018 was the first year that we started everything. I have it on my board at home, March 2018, the beginning of Straight Talk. So we're moving in to 2025. Wow, 7 years of Straight Talk. And we've been talking for 7 years straight. My mother said, boy, you can talk. I guess she's right. I've been talking for 7 years, and it's been absolutely amazing what we've been able to do. Let's get into what's on my mind, because there's a lot of stuff that's on my mind that I got to share. And then I want to get into our main conversation, which is what do we need to do to really work and get along? Because I've been trying to really push the idea of collaboration and partnership in our community, not just through words, but trying to actually make it happen. And I'll tell you, there are so many wet blankets and folks out there and things that are happening that are opposed to our communities working together. And we want to have that conversation. But before we do that, as y'all know, I had to take a quick break from the election. I was just over all of it. But I do want to make mention, as we were going into this election, we saw a very hard pivot. And I'm not going to spend a whole lifetime on what I'm getting ready to say, but I do think that it's important. We saw the Republican Party, number 47 now, number 47. I used to call him number 45. Now I get to call him number 47. He is, and his transition team is in full effect. And he has shown us who he is by the selection of his cabinet members and those who are important to him, because he's placed them in positions of power. Now, with that being said, we understood that during the course of this election, there was a hard push away from Project 2025, everything, pushing away everything except disavowing it, saying, hey, there's some good things in there, some bad things. That's not really our thing. It's not our thing. But now that they are in office, the reality of things comes to play. And I just want to talk about that really briefly before we address some of the other things that I need to talk about that are on my mind. First of all, I want to say that there were 140 members of his administration previously that were employed and participated in the drafting of 2025. That means from the last time that he ran for office and lost until this time, 140 members of his administration were employed and employed by the Heritage Foundation and participated in the draft of Project 2025. Now, I want to give you some names, because oftentimes what we don't do is we don't give you the real information so that you can go out there and you can search. And I want you to see this, because some of you out there are saying, hey, it's not him, he disavowed, let's vote for him anyway. We want to talk about that, right? But anyways, so we see Brendan Carr, who has been become his pick for FCC chair. He proposed eliminating the immunity big tech firms have for third-party content hosted on their platforms under Section 230, and he's targeting them over alleged censorship. It also calls for the adoption of a more hawkish FCC approach to foreign adversaries such as China. So we now see it would be likely that he would be interested in banning TikTok on national security grounds. And Carr writes that the FCC should make it easier for Elon Musk, Starlink, and other space companies to launch more communication satellites. All right, so that's one of those. The next individual that comes to mind, Peter Haastrup, is not a foreign name, but he has been appointed to the U.S. ambassador for Canada. I think he was appointed as an ambassador for the Netherlands in his previous administration. He is listed as a contributor for Project 2025 as well. Tom Homan, he is now going to be the border czar. I believe he was over border security in the last administration. He is also listed as a contributor. Carolyn Leavitt, she is the White House press secretary, is her new position that she'll be serving in. She is seen in a video. It's a how-to video for how to become a part of this new administration under Project 2025 as it moved forward. Steve Miller, the deputy chief of staff, he has now been appointed. AFL, he is the founder and the CEO of a nonprofit organization, AFL, which talks about America First. I think it's America First Legal is what it's called, and their person and their positioning, and that's what that was about. We also have John Ratcliffe, CIA director. He was responsible for the blueprint of the Intelligent Community chapter within Project 2025. JD Vance, the vice president, prominent ally of the Heritage Foundation, longtime friend of the Collaboration Foundation, president of Project 2025, architect Kevin Roberts. Vance wrote the foreword to Roberts' book, Dawn's Early Light, Taking Back Washington to Save America. We got Russell Vaught, who is out there, and he is one of the architects of Project 2025. Vaught believes that Trump can and must quickly seize an unprecedented amount of power in order to achieve his goals, and he has called for the pushing legal boundaries and even reinterpreting the Constitution to facilitate that. He's thinking that he can be one of the most powerful presidents in the history if he goes on a political grab. So we told you that that's what's going to go out there. So we'll see these people are now who are a part of that drafting of Project 2025 are now officially in positions or not officially, but proposed to be official parts of the new administration. And so what you were sold was a lie. But one of the other things that I want to talk about really quickly, because I've just been waiting to see how these cabinet positions were working, is the minority content in Trump's administration. I think he had a total of 3 minorities in the previous administration when he was number 45, and now he has 3 more. He's reached his limit, I guess. Marco Rubio, who I'm not even sure if Marco recognizes that he is of Hispanic descent, but he has been pushed or pulled or tagged as the Secretary of State. Scott Turner, is a black dude out of Texas. Now, this is what's interesting because he's put him in the same place that he put Ben Carson over HUD, Housing and Urban Development, which is basically a stepchild to the federal government. You know, it's one of those positions that is not, they always put the black people in HUD. And then Representative Lori Chavez DeRaymer of Oregon, who is also this Hispanic woman, and she is over labor. Not surprising whatsoever. But I think that these things are interesting. What I'm looking at and what's interesting to me are those individuals that had great reputations, like Senator Tim Scott, who sold himself in this process because he thought he would get the nod as vice president, not even a part of the conversation. So that is very, very interesting. Once again, so that is what's going on out there in the national world. There's a lot that is happening. Something happened today, and this bothered me. I believe President Biden is making a trip to I think it's Angola in Africa. And it's really the first time a sitting president has ever gone to Angola. This was something that he was supposed to have done a while ago, and it kept getting postponed. Then it was supposed to happen in October. He's now going through and checking off the bucket list, that he promised to do when he was running for office. And so as a lame duck president, not as a president who has power and authority to really make changes, he does break the mold with other presidents in the fact that he is now going to make a trip. I believe it's to Angola, Africa, Angola, Soweto, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Zambia, Mozambique, and Botswana. So let us speak about the motherland. Those of you old heads who are out there, you remember that from back in the day, old school rap. But he's making a trip to Angola. And in the process, this is the thing that bothers me by this. Just like there has been no reform to the Voting Rights Act, the things that we would want from the community. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Black community. We do not see that we have not seen the needle move under this current administration. And we see him taking a trip to Angola, which would have meant everything to Angola. I'm sure they're excited to have a lame duck president come, but how much more powerful would this have been when he was a president with power and authority, and he was making a trip to an African nation? And this is interesting because China has continually been reinforcing and gaining relations and building infrastructure in Africa, the continent of Africa. And the United States has kind of stood back. It is problematic to me because when we look at a continent like Africa and we look at the those who have been kissed by the sun and their positioning and how they have fought for so long for just the right to get the people, the foreigners, out of the land. Now we have folks in South Africa who consider themselves Afrikaans or Dutch Boers, whatever you call them. So many generations of folks who have lived in the continent that were foreigners to the continent who rightfully think that they have an heir to the land. And it's interesting because when I look at countries like Germany, when I look at countries like the United States of America, when I look at countries like Ireland, Black folks were carried to those places against their will. They're not places that we were. We were the tropical people in our own land doing our own thing. But those nations or those countries do not consider them the inhabitants. They don't consider them as the core people of that land. However, when we see folks fairer skin coming to the country of Africa or the continent of Africa, especially South Africa, we see that they believe that they are owners. This is their country. And it speaks to the fact of how some people have a sense of entitlement no matter where they go. And as I see the United States finally making their entrance and a U.S. sitting president goes into Angola as a lame duck, as it is, I think about how much or how great the influence could be if they were having a presidential meeting with a president who was in power and had time to do some things and could come back and talk about how the U.S. could create partnerships with companies and countries that are in the continent of Africa. So he's going great, clap, we applaud the effort, but it is one of those things I saw and it bothered me because we could do so much for that country if we so desired, but we're spending so much time lining up to rape them of their natural resources and trying to figure out how we can profit off of that nation that we cannot truly help them. All right. Well, here in the city of Saginaw, we know that the city mayor, Brenda F. Moore, has been reelected mayor here. And there's so much that is exciting. I think there was everyone came out. It was very respectable in terms of how we did things. Good evening to all of those who are coming. Amos O'Neill, Geraldine Bowen Walker, Tamaris Palimano. Hello. And then also we have a historic moment as well. Priscilla Garcia as the mayor pro tem that has been hired in to continue or voted in to continue the work that she has been doing on council, but now in somewhat of a new position as the first Hispanic mayor pro tem in the great city of Saginaw. I salute each and every one of you, those who are in city council. Let's now get to business. I said before the election, and I want to say it again, can we please work together? She's Tamaris, I think it is. She says that Saginaw is her hometown. Congratulations. We certainly thank you for tuning in. Wherever you're tuning in from, we certainly thank you, Miss Palomino, for tuning in. All right. So now I want to talk about something which is really interesting. All right. Before we get to our main topic about working together in collaboration, I want to talk to you really briefly about what's getting ready to happen, because something has to shake. If you are aware and you stay in tune with what's happening politically in the landscape of what's taking place, then you have to know that with our Congressman Rivet, which was the senator for the 35th district, she is now in the representing the Michigan 8th district, which was in Congress, which was where our good friend Dan Kildee was, who has retired. She now has been elected into that seat. One would wonder, and those of you who are out there would be able to ask the question all the way from Lithonia, Georgia. Thank you very much, Tamaris. Continue to tune in to the show. We certainly appreciate you. We would say, hey, well, if she is no longer our state senator over the 35th district, then there is a position that has the possibility of being open. Which means that there is another possibility. There is another election that most likely we'll see take place. And that means that now her seat in the 35th is open. And so what must our district do? What is it that we must do to make this happen? Now, I think that there are a number of individuals that I think would really fit well into that positioning. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus out there or try to push anybody, but this is just me talking. I've not had any solid conversations with anybody about what's going on. No one has told me their desires. I simply know that there is a seat that is going to be very advantageous for someone to be positioned in. If you remember during the season, this may be another opportunity for someone. When Kristen was running, Senator Rivet was running for this woman now. When she was running for the Senate, she was going up against one of the hometown favorite, Pamela Pugh, Dr. Pamela Pugh. Let me put that doctor on it because she worked for that. Dr. Pamela Pugh for that seat. And now the seat is vacant. Does this mean that we will see once again Dr. Pugh emerging? Does this mean that we will see someone from the Flint area emerging? Does this mean that we will see someone like our own state representative, Amos O'Neill, who comes in, I think it's from the 94th district. He represents us as well, positioning himself to do that. Or, as you know, people don't just get into politics or help politicians to get into office without having something in it for them. Many people who really try to jump on bandwagons or try to get connected all have in their mind that they're going to be connected so that they can position themselves for a future move. I don't know what's going on, but I want you to be aware that that is what's getting ready to take place. When I look at this, my first thought will be, and this is just me talking off the cuff, I would love to see Amos O'Neill in that position. I know that there will be a hard push to put someone else before him in that capacity, in my opinion. And I know that there are some folks that would love to have that opportunity up in Midland and in Bay City and other counties. But if we're looking, and Mr. Amos O'Neill is looking to do that job, he has been all over the state of Michigan voting for you and I to do what is out there. And I think that is very important that we understand who has our back, who brings money home to our district, who is doing what it is that is necessary to push our communities forward. And so I say that. So my thought would be, if we State Rep Amos O'Neill would be interested, he would be the candidate that our community would gather around and to support. But I do also understand at the same time there would be a lot for him to consider. He has found and really brokered a relationship across political lines. And what I mean by that is both Democrats and Republicans, white folks, black folks, brown folks, yellow folks. I told you he was not the Democratic Party's top guy, but he's been able to foster and build a coalition of support that is very broad. And so he finds himself on some key spaces and some key committees within the community. So he has a lot to think about when you find yourself in places like the Appropriations Committee and the Black Caucus chair and tables. And he's in a great position. So I pray that whatever we do, we find the most excellent candidate that we can have to put in those positions. Nobody's talking about it, so I'm gonna say it because I said the quiet part out loud, I guess. Jimmy Green, Amos O'Neill delivers big time when you consider, what is he saying? When you consider the small numbers they have in Lansing, it's incredible what he's brought back here. That's absolutely right. Thank you so much. And so we want to make sure that we're continually having those types of conversations, really trying to make sure that we see those individuals that are making it happen. Folks, it is December 1st. I'm still blown away by the fact that we are entering and nearing the end of this year. But before we get out of this year, I want to make sure that we have this conversation. What does it take for us as a community to work together in collaborative efforts? How do we begin to move in the spirit of collaboration? That is what we want to see. I see all of those individuals out there Amos O'Neill, if you ever wondered if you were loved and supported, they're coming in on the social media platform. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about working together in collaboration. And I'm speaking specifically to Saginaw and how we can make this happen. One last comment. When I worked against him on a number of policies, we always found common ground on the issues that affected Saginaw. Jim, you are so correct. My Republican brother. You have been a great tool, even in the Republican administrations, in terms of being a place where we could always call and make some things happen. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our topic of today. What must we do to effectively work together in collaboration? It is bothering me that a city that is so small, but so beautiful and so powerful and positioned to really be a great city, I am finding that we still struggle when it comes to working collaboratively. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Stick, stay, don't go away. We'll be back with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Ho, 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 Mid-Michigan. Jolly old Ryan Wasik here from Bell Wasik GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home of the lifetime warranty. This holiday season, forget that old elf. If you want the gift of a nicer, newer car, do it yourself. Right now, bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. That's right. If your old ride is horrible, bring it to me, and I'll give you way more than it's worth. See, at Bell Wasik GMC Buick, we're all about affordability. My solution specialists are jolly old elves. We work hard to help you find a car you love for a monthly payment you can afford. So be your own Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value, based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, Christmas only comes once a year, and so does this deal. I'm Ryan Wasik, your dealer for the people. See all my merry and bright rides at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced.
This holiday season, we invite you to join our Alpha Media family of stations along with Covenant Kids and Impact Saginaw Credit Unions every Wednesday now through December 18th at 6 p.m. as we brighten up the holidays for the kids that are hospitalized at Covenant Healthcare in Saginaw. At 6 p.m., we'll shine our lights for 2 minutes toward the windows where the kids are hospitalized. The first 100 to join us get free flashlights to shine from Impact Saginaw Credit Unions. Local first responders will all be there shining the lights from their vehicles too. Plus, you'll enjoy the live entertainment from local choirs and schools, treats from Cops and Donuts, and hot chocolate provided by Covenant as you arrive around 5:45.
There'll be plenty of cookies.
And with your help, each child will receive a toy as you donate new unwrapped toys at participating Impact Saginaw Credit Union locations. Help bring the lights before Christmas for a Covenant kid this holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Covenant Healthcare is where the next generation is born. We're also the birthplace of innovation, advanced treatments, and hope. With more than 500 physicians across specialties, we're the most preferred health system. Learn more about our next generation extraordinary care at covenanthealthcare.com. Choose extraordinary. Choose Covenant Healthcare.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Black Friday doorbusters mean big savings at Lowe's. It's your chance to score a Blackstone 22-inch 2-burner gas griddle for just $149. That's a savings of $80. And save $800 on a Whirlpool side-by-side stainless steel refrigerator. Was $16.99, now just $8.99. Set your alarm. These deals won't last long, so don't wait to start saving before they're gone. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid 11/29 through 12/2. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
This is Kareem, and you're back with more Straight Talk. We certainly thank you for your continued listenership. Shout out to one of my mans, James Knox Jr. He's out there, the man, the crooner. He has the voice of silk. I miss you so much, James. Come by, give me a visit. It's time for me to hear one of those old Williams Brothers song or something. Please let me hear something like that before you get in. And also, you also do some Christmas stuff. I'm interested in hearing what you are putting on, and if you're doing a Christmas concert. I know you do some things out at the nursing home where you render your talents for those who are in the nursing home. So let me know what's going on. I want to be a participant. I want to hear some of the crooning, some of that old good crooning, some of the stuff that we miss so very dearly. So let's get into it. So before our break, we were having this conversation about I told you we're going to talk about, are we able to work together in terms of community? And so I want to talk about that to all of those Lions fans. I don't know how I could have missed it. Shout out to you all. The fairy dust definitely kicked in because the Lions did not win that game, but the Bears handed it to them. I'm certainly hoping that we tend to look like the Lions, the playoff championship Lions, and because of the injuries, we don't stumble to our defeat. So congratulations to those. Oh, and I gotta give this shout out. It's not a shout out, a statement. Congratulations, Wolverines. And that's not something I normally say, but when I looked at what happened, we saw the game, we saw the victory, a surprising upset. But if you look at the stats, Michigan has beat Ohio State probably, I think, like every single time they've met over the past 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And when we look at the fight that took place afterwards, I was really upset about it. But what I was upset about even more so, and Eric Smith, if you're out there and you're listening, you brought this to the light as well, was the fact that they began to use poor sportsmanship and the lack of character and integrity to really push and to sensationalize the future games and things that were coming up to play. And I say shame on the entire industry. And I don't know if it was NCAA, but I was looking at these commercials and things going on. Disappointing. We are living in a time where character and integrity are under attack. And it's important for us to stand up, not only when it comes to our politics, but when it comes to those things. I'll tell you, sportsmanship was one of the greatest things that we needed when we were growing up as athletes. And I hope we do not lose that. And I don't like the fact that when it can make dollars, we will publicize things that are poor character and poor taste. So moving back to our conversation, I just wanted to get that out because it popped up into my head. Working together in collaboration. And I want to say this because this show, as I often say, and I'm going to reiterate it even once again, the purpose of this show, Straight Talk, giving you straight talk, no chasers, no filters. We're bringing you the truth of the matter from Wall Street down to Main Street. And Main Street represents what happens in our community. And one of the things that I've seen happen in this wonderful community that I love, and when I say Saginaw, I'm talking about all of the Saginaw area. But I'm really particularly talking about those who have an invested interest in the city of Saginaw and have an interest in what's taking place with our community resources. And when I say our community resources, I'm talking about those amazing organizations that make it up. Shout out to Kanika Pugh. And I'm going to say something to you, Kanika. I really want to celebrate you in January of 2025 as our first Shining Star Award for the city of Saginaw. So you are, and the cat's out the bag. And I want to say this because I want to give you your flowers for what you've been able to do. Over at the NABE, an organization that had not existed for a long time, that had been really struggling to figure out and find its footing in terms of how it was going to operate, who would be leading forward, questions about leadership, all of those things. You have been able to successfully navigate the storm through that. And I want to celebrate you for the great work that you're doing over at the NABE. And I'm going to say this because nobody else is going to say it. There were questions about how you all might fare and what might take place as it relates to the ARPA dollars that were coming in. You all did something that was out of the box, which I can certainly appreciate. You brought in your own overseers as it related to who would oversee those dollars. You brought your consultants in, you brought them to the table, you put your plan together, and Bright House did not like it. Other officials did not like it, but you did it and you were successful in what you were doing up to this point. And I certainly celebrate you, the quality and the caliber of individuals that you've pulled on, the type of programming that you've been able to do and pull together. And I'll say that you've been able to do this really with shoestrings, making it happen. And I want to celebrate you on being creative and how you have been moving and what you've been able to do. So shout out to you, Kanika Pugh. We haven't always seen eye to eye, but I've always respected your move and how you've moved and what you've done. We've always had a great family connection and friendly connection. And let me correct that. When I say that we haven't always seen eye to eye, that there has been a misconception in terms of things that we didn't understand about each other, but we took care of those things and we move forward. And I just want to celebrate you. You will be celebrated at the beginning of the year as the first Shining Star Award from Straight Talk. So that means that you're going to get your mug, you get your t-shirt, and you'll get your gift card as well. And I just want to say, continue to do the great work. There is so much work that is happening from the NABE to I saw, First Ward Community Center being able to take advantage. Some of those organizations were really blessed by ARPA. It's amazing to go in and to see the buildings be just kind of solidified and the kitchens being done and the bathrooms. And I mean, it is an exciting time for those who operate in community spaces. And so I say, great job. When we look at where we are and we talk about 2025 moving forward, collaboration has to take place. Now, I want to say this because oftentimes many groups say that we're going to work together. I've been at a number of tables, a million tables, where we say, hey, let's work together. Let's make this happen. But it seems that we continue to talk about working together. But when the rubber meets the pavement, we've struggled at really bringing collaborative efforts really, truly together in the areas that really have the ability to impact our community the most. And I say that. And what I'm saying, I'm not trying to talk against anybody. This is myself included. This includes Kareem J. Bowen, for those who are out there, because I know I got a lot of haters who don't like me. It is what it is. It comes with the territory. And so, I will take part responsibility. Jimmy Green, I know this sounds like a cliche, but it doesn't make it any less true. But we have too many people that have to lead and too few to follow. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians, is what you're saying. Every disagreement springs forth another group. And sadly, I believe it also reflects the not so secret divisions in our religious community. It's like there's some kind of medal awarded to who gets the credit. Bam. If I had a bullseye, Mr. Green, you would have hit the target with what it is that you're saying. And I say this, and it doesn't bring me any joy in saying this. I am, yes, I'm on the radio. Yes, I do community work. Yes, there are programs that I oversee or create. But as I often say, I'm a man of faith first. And it hurts my heart as a man of faith who loves this great community, who loves the young people and the seniors and the people that are here doing great work. We have amazing entrepreneurs and an entrepreneurial spirit that has sprung up in our community. And I'm so proud of those individuals who are doing the work that they are doing, to the point that I'm excited about it. You all make me excited when I see the work and the new businesses and the new positions that are being created within our community by those that are in our community. It makes me excited. However, I must say the truth of the matter is, as a pastor, that many of the separations that we have and many of the divisions, when we talk about leadership not being able to come together, often stem from individuals or folks who are part of the household of faith. And I say that, and I say that being 1,000% honest. It is almost a fact. I'll say it. It has almost come to a point of a fact that when we are going to do something collaboratively, that we have to have individuals who are just regular citizens in the community, because somehow we get confused with what God's work is and the community work is, and the fact that the work that we do in community does not necessarily have to benefit the churches that we represent. Now, if you've ever been a party to anything that I'm a part of, and I get this from our church board and other individuals, I very rarely bring up my church as a beneficiary to the work that we're doing in the community. And the reason that I do that is because I understand that the moment we start doing that, it becomes an issue of who is going to be in charge and who's going to get the credit. As you said, Mr. Green, one of the things that I'm hoping that we do, and I say this to my brothers and sisters of the faith, to all of those who are out there in community spaces, who are out there doing work. And there's not a lot of people who are out there doing this work. There's a small group of individuals, which is another reason as to why it blows me away that we struggle to work together. And I'm really like at a loss for what to do. Having to go to secret people, to have secret groups, to bring people together so that they won't know that my name is affiliated with because they have a problem with me. For folks, it's hard to deal with Kareem. And I understand I am a special kind of person. And I will tell you, I'm very self-aware. And I have my strengths as well as my weaknesses. But my desire and my passion to see our community connected and to work together is something that is unwaning. And I never have to be the chief in order to make that happen. And let's try to be nice in terms of how we operate. Your personal thoughts are not true if they don't come with some type of understanding that whatever that it is that divides us, understand this, means absolutely nothing if we could reach out, have a conversation, and get those things on the right track. We're going to come back and we're going to talk really quickly about those key things, those factors that divide us, and what can we do as a community. If you want to call in, I would love to have you call in. The number is 989-921-7107, 989-921-7107. If you have suggestions on how we can overcome the hurdles that keep us from collaborating and truly working together. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more of this conversation. How can we move forward and work together? I feel like Rodney King. Can we all just get along? Let's take a break. We'll be back.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Welcome to Nada Yada Confessions. Natalie was about to tell us if she ever found the one. Go ahead, Natalie.
Actually, I found two. With Metro, I got the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the Galaxy Watch FE.
Get even more this holiday season. Now at Metro by T-Mobile, get both the Samsung Galaxy A35 5G and the new Galaxy Watch FE for just $99.99. Visit your Metro store today for this limited time deal. Plus tax. Bring your number and ID. Sign up for Metro Flex Plus and add a watch line.
This is the famous footwear that everyone has on their holiday wish list. So don't wait to make it famous. Whether you're searching for their favorite character shoes or the hottest sneakers, slippers, and boots, Famous Footwear has the newest styles from Nike, Adidas, Crocs, Converse, New Balance, Birkenstock, Timberland, and more. Unwrap Famous today and make everyone's holidays merry with buy one, get one half off at your local Famous Footwear or famous.com. Some exclusions apply.
Black Friday doorbusters are here at Lowe's. For a limited time, get 2 select 1-quart poinsettias for just $3 and get 25% off all fresh cut Christmas trees. These deals are in stores only, so don't wait to start saving before they're gone. Because Lowe's knows deals. In-store only. Poinsettia offer limited to 16 per customer. Valid 11/29 through 12/2. While supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection and availability varies by location.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-506-3355. 800-506-3355. 800-506-3355.
Black Friday doorbusters are here at Lowe's. For a limited time, get 2 select 1-quart poinsettias for just $3 and get 25% off all fresh cut Christmas trees. These deals are in stores only, so don't wait to start saving before they're gone. Because Lowe's knows deals. In-store only. Poinsettia offer limited to 16 per customer. Valid 11/29 through 12/2. While supplies last. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection and availability varies by location.
Oh no, my phone.
Hear that? It's the sound of a skater dropping her phone and smashing it on the ice. Yep, it's definitely broken. But at Verizon, we got you. This Black Friday, trade in any phone, any condition from one of our top brands and get a new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus on Unlimited Ultimate and Watch 7 and Tab S9 FE 5G. That's up to $1,900 in value. So you'll save big on 3 great gifts. Hurry into Verizon this Black Friday. Service plan required for Watch and Tab. Up to $1,900 value based on phone, watch, and tablet. Trade in and additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Skip the store lines and shop online for that perfect holiday gift. Shop local this holiday season with Great Beginnings Winery. After nearly a decade sharing exceptional wines with the community, Great Beginnings Winery in downtown Midland will soon be closing its doors. They're offering you the chance to stock up at a price you won't believe and inviting you to try the special farewell wine, No Regrets. Stop in for a final toast now through February and head over to RocketGrabPlus.com to snag your holiday deal today. RocketGrabPlus.com.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
All right, we're back from break. We got a few minutes here, and I want to get into this conversation. Please like, tag, and share this conversation, but also put your conversation or your thoughts in the stream. Dr. Layden, I noticed that you made a comment. I'm not sure if you were actively listening or you're watching. If so, we would love for you to give us a call before we go off air today at 989-921-7107. But if you're out there and you're not Dr. Layden and you have something that you want to say on this topic, I would love to hear what it is that you have to say on how we can collaborate together. I do want to bring to mention before I get into those things that are problematic. Antonio Brooks, who's out there, you've seen him on social media all over the place with young men and kids and doing his substance use disorder training and working with Peer 360 and FAN, and he's all over the place. He says that I'm glad that you put that out there because it gets to the point where it looks like, are you really about the work or your personal feelings about an individual stopping you from doing the work? It's time to grow up and let egos die. Our village is on fire, and some would rather watch it burn versus teaming up with others to extinguish the flame. So so well pointed, said and stated. I do agree, and I'll let you know there have been times in my past, and I'll tell you that I'm not innocent, I should say, in terms of some of these things, because there are individuals that I was like, hey, they don't like me, so I'm not going to worry about it. But we've gotten to a place, and that's real talk. I'm being honest about that. But we've gotten to a place that's like my ego has to die. Your ego has to die. I've been willing to swallow my pride and to work with individuals. I want to make sure that our community gets the best. And I say this to everyone who is listening. If we're not working together, then our community suffers. We're in a position right now. Let me get to some of this because I'm gonna get real personal, be real honest, and I don't think that everybody. Well, this is straight talk, so we're gonna get it. If I get through this and we come back, I'm gonna be real honest and real direct. All right. So community groups often struggle to work together due to these following factors. And I want to say these things, and if you find these things hitting you, say ouch. But let's do better. All right. Competing priorities. And what that means is we may have one group may have something that they think is more important. You may have something that's more important. But oftentimes the competing priorities is our ego, is the fact that we want to be at the top of the list. We want to be in lead position. We want to be the voice of the people or the voice of the community. But the reality of it is if we are all to do what it is that we have been called to do, the greatest leaders will be those who are able to bring people together to work together. True leadership is not the one who stands at the head of the table. True leadership is not the one whose mic is the loudest, who has the greatest number of followers, but can we bring people together across the aisle? Can we work together to really make and put our community first? Leaders always put their community first. Thomas Harvey, who's out there, he is one of the most amazing voices. I pale in comparison. People say, I always recognize your voice, but he is the man, the myth, the legend. He says, ego, easing God out. Certainly. Thank you for that comment, Mr. Green. This election was a microcosm of politics. Republicans don't need to like each other more than they like power. We as a community could learn something from that. Oh, you have said it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Dr. Layton. Keep on doing what you're doing, sir. Work with those that come to the table. Dr. Layton, we have a couple minutes. I would love to get your perspective on how you have been successful in doing, the community work that's been out there. You do great ministry. You are here from the city, but I know that you're doing great ministry where you are. The number is 989-921-7107. Once again, 989-921-7107. I would definitely like to hear your expertise on letting what you see in the city of Saginaw, sometimes being from a city and no longer being in that city, going somewhere else, you're able to uncover some of the things and be honest about what you see that often become hindrances to how we move forward. As Ralph Martin says, oh, well, so that's good stuff. I gotcha. Amen, Jimmy. Say it again. So these are the competing factors, so competing priorities, limited resources. We all are fighting for a piece of that same pie. And that's why I want to stick a feather in it, because I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to make sure I can come back to that because I'm putting a position to where the group that we're working with, and this is a divine download. This is something that God gave us for this community. And so it's interesting that if this is a divine download and pastors understand when God gives you a divine understanding, and this is what he says is going to be necessary for our community, you don't all have to agree, but if we all trust that we have faith in that same God, then I would think that we would be able to coalesce around ideas that are from the throne of grace. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Different organizational cultures, how people operate, lack of trust. I think that's the biggest thing. I have, as a young kid, I was one of those kids who could always, I'm putting out ideas. I wanted to work. I just wanted to see things better. And it does become very hard to deal with. There was a phone call that came in. It says Dr. Layton called in and we missed his call. Dr. Layton, if you could try just one more again, 989-921-7107. He said he didn't get an answer. If we could check to see what's going on over there on the phone, we'd definitely just please try again. We would love to get you in on here. but with lack of trust. And so it causes us to trust when we give ideas and people use those ideas, they don't give credit. It's called plagiarism in many places because you can't steal ideas and things. So, but I don't understand what it is to celebrate someone else for an idea or something that they've come up with. Let's celebrate it. Let's use it. Let's move forward. Poor communication. And this is one thing that I'll tell you, I have been, has been an Achilles heel for me. I'm an individual who just works. I want to get the work done. Let's get the work done. But what I realize is that a leader has to also make sure that as you're working and you're creating these ideas, that you're also keeping people informed. So as we move forward, people can move forward with you because they understand where you're going. And so communication is key. We have on the line Dr. Rick Layton. How are you doing, Dr. Layton?
I'm doing outstanding, sir. I just wanted to listen to you, and I listen to you often when I get a chance, and I didn't really want to comment, but I will if you want me to.
I want to give you a couple of seconds. I thank you, and I appreciate you coming. It's Louisiana, right? All the way from Louisiana.
Correct. Shreveport, Louisiana.
Shreveport, Louisiana. So I certainly want to thank you for tuning in, but I want to ask you the question. You're from the area. You understand the area. You've been here before. And you're doing great things where you are. When you look at the issues of collaboration and communities coming together, what are the things that you see as the biggest issues or hurdles to us doing so?
If you would allow me to address that this way, I would love to. For years, when I came here, I would begin to try to get with pastors and do things together. And many times we as young pastors, I'm a little older now, but as young pastors, we see other pastors as a threat, and we think they're going to leave our church and go to some other church. That's why I love what you are doing, not under the heading of your ministry. And for years, I would have what they called unity celebrations here in Shreveport. And we would have pastors from every background, Black, white, Hispanic, and we would have 30 or 40 pastors every month. And we would move it to different churches. And afterwards, we would have dinner, and it would be live on the radio stations here. And we did that for a number of years. And then I resigned from being the head of that thing and moved on with doing some other things. But what I have seen, Pastor, is that I had to begin to show myself friendly. And I know you're friendly, but I had to begin to show myself friendly to pastors behind the scenes. I'll call pastors. I'll come on like I'm doing with you and, listen to you. And as we began to not see one another as a threat, and one of the guys said something a little while ago in your program, many times, our egos get in the way and, we all want to head up things. We got to begin to work together and say, whatever God gives us to do to help the people, that's so very important. And so I don't know, they just celebrated this month 38 years of me pastoring. I've been preaching for 45 years. Today was the end of our celebration. In April of next year, I'm getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from our president. And I never thought these kind of things would happen. Sometimes I would come home and cry. We started a church there in Michigan years ago. And I had guys thought, well, he's coming here. No, that's my heart. Saginaw is my heart. So I love to see you guys doing what you're doing. And so I had to get behind the scenes and work with pastors and sometimes never mention my name and put them out front, just like you're doing. Because sometimes no matter how long we've been in ministry, until we are secure with the anointing that's on our life and the things God is doing with us, we will always try to keep someone else down. And I had to learn to just stay in the background like you're doing sometimes. But when God wants you at the forefront, you can't help but come to the forefront because of the graces, the anointings, the giftings that's on your life. So keep doing what you're doing, sir. Keep reaching the people in your city. If it's anything I can ever do because I'm from that town. I love Saginaw. I love the surrounding areas there. And if there's anything we can do, we can do it. But I just kept on showing myself friendly. I pastor a lot of pastors. I have a program called Inform that comes on every Tuesday. And my calling is to help young pastors and emerging ministries be all that they can be. And so that's where I'm at in my life. So keep doing what you're doing. I wasn't going to call simply because of what you just said. Sometimes people think you want to show out and be at the forefront. No, I'm in ministry. I love people, God's people. And as you said, Rodney King said, can we all just get along? Love you, sir.
And Dr. Layden, we certainly thank you for your words of wisdom and calling in. While you were talking, I just found a place for you to fit into our schedule in 2025. So I'll be reaching out. If you could please make sure my number is the same. I'm not sure if yours is. If you could please shoot me that information. Let's make sure that we connect. And maybe we can do what you have done in terms of bringing those pastors together. And you said something that I remember. That will stay with me, that we have to be more concerned about building relationship and fellowshipping, not just get together to meet. I certainly thank you for your time and attention. We'll talk very soon. And to all of those who are listening via social media or on the airwaves, we certainly thank you for continually tuning in and making Straight Talk your number one show in this target market. Certainly thank you. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed on Straight